Yes, hello and welcome everyone. Good evening. I hope all of you are safe. Well, the day has come, the bubble has burst, and the day we feared the most. Unfortunately enough, we all got the news that IPL 2021 has been suspended. IPL has been pushed back for an indefinite amount of time till the situation is under control. So, with this heavy heart, with the bad news, today I would like to welcome Dr. Okajit Ghosh. Dr. Ghosh again took out some time and came to has come to a show. He came to a show prior when we discussed the bio bubble, the effect on the players' mentality, and how will it affect the IPL. So again today, Dr. Ghosh is here, who is a specialist in diabetology, and he will discuss with us the bubble. How the hell did it burst? What happened? So, Dr. Ghosh, again, uh, with the bad news, there was a bio bubble breach. How did the bubble burst? Your thoughts, sir?
See, I think in that previous episode, I have described what is a biobubble, and at the end of the show, at the end of it, I also discussed how it is breached, and sadly enough, it has happened in exactly that way. See, Varun Chakravarti, along with Sandeep Warrior, went for a scan. So, what I have described about biobubble, you are leaving this stringent area, that hotel, that bus, that stadium, that cricket pitch, that dressing room, this is the bubble. And you are leaving that and you are going out from the hotel to a hospital for scans, breaching bio bubble. And at this point of time, see, I repeat, at this point of time, when we are at the peak of the second wave, almost at the peak, Maharashtra is at the peak, Bengal will be at the peak very shortly. So at this point of time, when a chance of getting an infection is very high, I do not know, some very callous attitude from KKR. They allowed these two players to go for a scan, and from there, what PPU may be wearing, you can always get the infection, and that's what happened. I said in my previous video, one biobubble breach will transfer the infection to the other bubble, and that may jeopardize the tournament, especially in a 8 team tournament where so many bubbles are there. And uh, despite the intercity travel being limited to only 3 per team, one breach, and you know what has happened. No one is going
Now,
to take
sir,
the carry it
yes.
forward.
Now, sir, I will just to ponder on what you have said. Now, I will give you some information. Varun Chakravarti, Sandeep Warrior went for the shoulder scan before the game against Delhi Capitals (DC). That was 3 4 days
Yes,
back.
absolutely, yeah.
KKR management did not want to lose Varun Chakravarti, and they wanted to make him play the match against DC. So that's why they did. So maybe there is speculation they didn't inform, and he should have been directly going to the isolation. That heavy callousness costed us maybe the entire tournament. They should have sent Varun Chakravarti directly to isolation, and that has transferred. They played against DC. Amit Mishra is COVID positive. And so again the bubble of DC burst. They practice against RCB, their bubble burst, and there was Punjab Kings. Now they are also scared. So foreign players, they are shit scared and they don't want to play because the bubble has already burst. So, sir, even wearing the PP suit, even taking all the necessary precautions at the peak, as you said, it was not at all a judicious call.
Absolutely, I said that it is absolutely a very callous call from KKR. You know what, this is an IPL which you should have played with a bit of compromise. Like Harsha Bhogla, I would say this is an IPL you should have played with a bit of compromise. Yeah, you depend on Varun Chakravarti a lot. But again, this is an IPL where you should have been extra careful. Like, you can forego a player or two for 1 or 2 games, maybe for 3 4 games. But this is an IPL which should have been played with some degree of compromise. And it goes for all the teams. One careless mistake and it has cost the entire IPL. And I think Viswaja, you will also stress upon how important this IPL is, despite people saying that it should not be happening.
Oh, sir, absolutely, absolutely, sir. Uh, now, you just pondered on my second question. I would like to ask you. There are too many stop IPL slogans I saw in Twitter There were too many such stop IPL slogan I saw in Facebook and all. But IPL entirely is an ecosystem. IPL brings livelihood to so many players, not only players, the broadcasters, the ground staff, even the hotel industry, even the bus driver. IPL is an entire ecosystem. You break the ecosystem, you're snatching away the livelihood of so many people. Not only we might see Virat Kohli or MS Dhoni, they are earning crores, but they are people who are daily wages. So your thoughts? IPL is an ecosystem.
Absolutely. IPL is an ecosystem. See, it is very prudent to understand at this point of time that a player's shelf life is limited. It is not like a railway officer or something like that where he can earn till he's 60. A player can earn only up to his some 35, 36 odd. After that, he has to retire. And especially in this rat race of IPL, he has to perform also. So it is very important that if he loses one IPL, he loses a lot. He loses a lot.
Absolutely, sir. I will take one example. Chetan
Hmm.
Sakaria of Rajasthan Royals. Chetan Sakaria of Rajasthan Royals. Another example, if I may take, say someone like maybe a Sandeep Warrior of KKR, or maybe if you go to RCB, maybe someone like Harshal Patel. So these player, these. So I think your camera, if you could just, your
Yeah.
face is cutting.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Now it's okay. No, no. Again, your face is cutting. I think there is some technique.
Okay, you can carry on.
No, okay. Yeah, I will carry on. So I think there is some. If you just put, yeah, yeah. Now it's okay. Now it's okay. Now it's okay. Yes, sir. So yeah, coming. So as I was saying, the players like Sandeep Warrior or maybe Chetan Sakaria, who comes from modest background, they are earning few lakhs, and for
Very
them, this
poor
IPL
background.
is a livelihood.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
very poor backgrounds, and some for for someone like Chetan Sakaria, one good IPL would have made, it would have been a would have he would have earned a fortune from one IPL. He comes from very
Absolutely.
poor background. Yeah.
Absolutely, sir. What happens, sir? I feel so. People only see maybe a Mahinder Singh Dhoni or maybe a Virat Kohli or a Rohit Sharma that they are earning millions. But you should also look there. Superstars are there, but along with that, there are so many small people who are totally the IPL is their bread and butter. Now, what about the journalists? Now, what about some YouTubers? We do YouTube as a passion, but not all. For them, YouTube is their daily bread. What about them? Now, this entire vacuum which is created, IPL should have been till 30th of May. Now, the entire vacuum of 1 month, what about them? So, I believe IPL is an ecosystem. IPL nourishes player, IPL breeds player. This should have continued. I understand India is going through a turmoil. So, your thoughts? You being a medical professional, your thoughts on this?
See, I being a medical professional, I would always say that yeah, we have to halt certain things, but when IPL is being played behind closed doors, when it is not affecting anyone outside that bubble, the players are in the bubble, no one is being allowed to enter the stadium. So you cannot blame IPL for a single COVID case. You cannot blame. And also the fact that a player can only play up to his 35, 36. He's losing 1 year. And talking about players like Dhoni, Kohli, and Rohit Sharma, they are hitting sixes and all. See, we have to see how much of practice sessions they have to go through to play those long innings. How much of conditioning they have to go through. They have to remain in a particular condition to deliver. You just cannot have Virat Kohli sitting in the bench and scoring centuries around the park. He has to remain fit. You have to allow him to play games, play competitive games. So I think you cannot if it is not if the game is not affecting any players if it is not responsible for any COVID cases around, the game has to go on. If
So,
you talk about
we have a question. We have rather a comment from Obi, my friend. Actually, he is down with the and also he is stuck with office work. Yes, doctor disappointed with IPL being suspended. Absolutely. See, as Doctor Ghosh said very clearly, Virat Kohli, don't expect Virat Kohli to score a century after sitting 2 months at home, directly going to England and scoring a century. That's not possible. That's not possible. So now, even
I think
my heart goes
if
out.
you
Yes, sir.
remember, I think if you remember in 2006, Sachin Tendulkar after his keyhole surgery for his tennis elbow, he said that I need 2 months because I have lost a bit of muscle in my in my right arm. So I need to train myself and get back the strength to play the drives. So that is very important. Each and every player which you are seeing on the ground, a lot of fitness, lot of skill goes behind that. Lot of training, lot of conditioning goes behind that.
Oh, absolutely, sir. See, and not even for the big players. Now, I will just now, again, as we spoke on few names, I was rather looking forward to see someone like a Mahinder Singh Dhoni, whom we get to see once a year, only through IPL, who hardly plays. Maybe a Chris Gale, who plays once a year through the IPL. So yes, yes, again, we are unable to see them now, and let's see when the next window opens up. Now, I have like this. I would like stress on one more question on this thing. The importance of IPL for world cricket, and now it is being stopped. So I will give you again few names. Say maybe a Kylie Jamison of New Zealand, or maybe a Riley Meredith of Australia. Who knew? If they had a breakthrough season this year, who knew? It would have changed the face of their cricket, maybe down the line.
Absolutely. I think IPL is the major premier league in the world cricket. A lot of players who look forward to IPL to prove their worth, and maybe a Kyle Jamieson who could have had a very good season and would have earned a huge amount of money in the next mega auction. So these are the things which happen. Look, another thing is a very sad story. Maybe we are seeing the end of Mahendra Singh Dhoni. I think if this IPL is totally discontinued, I don't see him coming back next season. We are seeing the end of Mahendra Singh Dhoni.
Yes, Shuprati Mori has a statement that I think right decision taken. Yes, absolutely. If COVID cases comes in, you have, because the players' safety and health is paramount. He said that if BCCI wants to continue the tournament, okay, we will come to this point later, Shupratim. We will come to this point later on the window. Now, sir, I would like to ask again one more thing. Like IPL being discontinued, how will it affect the World T20? World T20 was down the corner, and we were banking on someone like a Surya Kumar Yadav, maybe like Ishan Kishan or Hardik Pandya coming to form. We maybe, the spinning jigsaw puzzle which is open. We wanted to see a Ravi Bishnoi who was
Ravi
like a
Bishnoi, yeah.
wildfire. Ravi Bishnoi, even sir, if I say Tewatia, so it's a big, hammer to the World T20 chances for the probables.
First of all, I don't think World T20 is going to happen in India with this thing around. We have to see how this COVID wave comes down, or if at all it comes down in a month or two. See, again, World 2020 means so many teams and so many bubbles. I do not think anyone is going to take a chance with the World T20 in India at this point of time. IPL, someone was asking in September, October, we have to see what happens to the corona wave.
So
See,
that
it
I
is
will come a bit later.
yeah,
September, October,
yeah,
that question has to come.
In India, what I'm trying to tell you is that in India, COVID waves are a bit more unpredictable than what you see in the Western countries, because there the population is less and your COVID waves are somewhat predictable. In India, with a densely populated country, if there is one outbreak, it will be spreading like fire to all the places. See, last year, before the Durga Puja, the COVID wave actually subsided. But once again, because of the Puja rush, we had a horrible time during the 4 Puja days with massive admissions in the hospital. So actually, you cannot predict what is going to happen in September, October. But we have to keep an eye on that. If things turn good, we can complete the IPL in September, October, which I would definitely like to see. Once again, World T20, I think it has gone into the cold storage today with this kind of a
Yeah,
thing.
sir. Now, sir, coming back to this thing regarding like bubble breach or something. I thought last year the IPL went flawlessly in UAE. The only thing, integrity of the bubble depends on less travel, minimizing the travel from hotel to stadium, stadium to hotel. This season, BCCI made matches in Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Kolkata. Six stadiums they held matches. Players were traveling by via flight. Now, you are creating all the chances for punching the bio bubble for like the bio bubble will be bursting. Don't you feel that travel is another reason?
No, I think this time the scheduling was such that each team will travel only 3 times. I don't think traveling is an issue. The thing was that if you think in September October in UAE the first wave was coming down. So at that time UAE is not as densely populated as India. So the chance of procuring an infection, even if there was a breach, was less. And in India we are nearing the peak of the second wave, and at this time if someone breaches the bubble, the chance of infection is much more. In UAE, the less densely populated, chance of biobubble breach was of course lesser with less amount of travel. But again, look at the situation of UAE then and look at the situation of in India now. India now is right at the peak of second wave,
So
and
that's
the
what I'm saying, sir. Maybe this year say could have held that in UAE again. Maybe because
I
UAE
don't
three
think
grounds
because
were there.
no, I don't think because UAE holding it in UAE is a bit expensive, and at the end of the day, BCCI wants to hold it in India. Doesn't matter
Because
if the stadium is
it
at,
brings the money back because you are
yeah.
utilizing your grounds, the broadcasters, the travel partners, the
And of course
flights,
the
the
taxes are
hotels.
less. The taxes are less, and you have to carry the entire all these bubbles to UAE and bring them back. So I think
Yeah.
at the end
Now
of the day,
Ovik has a question. Ovik said with so many soccer tournaments running and successfully, don't you think BCCI did have a slip somewhere which led to unwanted end of the tournament? Yes, my
yes,
friend, might be
we have
slip.
to
See,
discuss that.
slip happen either by players or by the franchises, like Varun Chakravarti's case. The franchises should have been more proactive. They should have said, okay, Varun Chakravarti is out of bubble. We are bringing him back into isolation. And after 8 days or 7 days of quarantining, he will again come back to the bubble. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Someone has to take responsibility.
Because that is what I've said. You have this IPL, as Harsha Bhogle always says, you have to play with a bit of compromise. Maybe you have to forego the services of Chakraborty for 3 or 4 matches, and then you send him out of the bubble. He gets the treatment. He comes back and serves the quarantine, and then comes back into the team. This is a compromise which you should have done. KKR, you have messed up big time. I must say.
No, I will say, sir, see, a tournament is much bigger than a player or a franchise. Very honestly.
Absolutely.
A tournament is much bigger. Even if it was of a stature of a Virat Kohli or A.B. de Villiers or a Rohit Sharma, the rules stand same for all. If tomorrow, God forbid, I have COVID or you have COVID, the rule stands same for anyone. That you have to
Rules
be in
come.
isolation, you have to go for treatment. You cannot say that I am someone special and I can do this. This disease knows no one. So again, yes, there was a fallacy. Now, sir, I will directly come to a question. World Test Championship, England, India versus New Zealand. Is it in jeopardy? Do you think it is there on schedule? How will it affect the Indian players? Your thought.
I was just going through the quarantine rules of some of the countries, and where UK says 10 days of quarantines for nationals only. I don't think at this point they're allowing Indians in. So you have to
Yes,
look at
Indians are
that.
not allowed.
You have to look at that. India is a red country now. For UK nationals, if they're going back from India, the 10-day quarantine has to be served. So at this point of time, I don't think they will allow a team from India to UK. That will be on nationals. That will be a national call from Boris
Now, I will
Johnson.
tell you the World Test Championship schedule was somewhere around June
June.
18th to June 22 or something like that.
Yeah, we have
Okay.
to look forward. What happens at that point of time?
Yeah.
Whether India
So
still
now
remains.
we are standing on the first initial part of me. I don't think it will be any better by the end of it because the Indian team with the contingent was supposed to leave by first week of June. So I don't think it will be any better. So that red flag will be there. So either you need will you change the venue? Will you postpone it to some later date? It is again a red flag over there.
There are two things to ponder about here. One is whether they will change the venue, or secondly, whether there will be a special consideration for a particular team to travel into England. That the UK government has to take a call. I think that there lies the glitch. The second thing is that otherwise it is safe because it is just two bubbles. India and New Zealand will be the traveling teams. So I think those two are the teams that will, have only two bubbles, and if the British government takes some call that, oh yeah, we are not allowing any Indian flights in, but a chartered flight from India can take the players into the England shores. If that kind of a thing can be arranged, only I see a possibility. Otherwise, I don't think it is a possibility as of now. Please remember that India will be there for a long time. One test match for WTC, and then they have a five test match against England.
And against the India will be traveling with a huge contingent because they will be playing practice matches with India A only. So India might be like what I gather, India might be traveling with somewhere around 30 players at least.
Yeah.
India will be traveling with 30 players with their staff and everyone. So the call is totally on UK government's hand whether they will allow someone like Indian team, whether they will bypass the rule and say,
With
okay, a
with a
chartered flight
chartered
with the
flight.
players are allowed.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think it is only a possibility. With a chartered flight, that is only a possibility. I was looking at the things of the other countries also. In UK, in Australia, it is not allowed. In England, in New Zealand, with a 15-day quarantine. Of course, New Zealand, it is very cold at this point of time. I don't think cricket can be held now. UAE has stopped Indian flights from coming in even for an interim halt. Flights from India just halt at Doha and then they fly to UK. So that halt is for Indian flights is also not allowed. So a bit of stringency for to and from India at this point of time.
Yes, sir. So
And I
that's
hope,
what I'm saying. Right now, sitting in the initial part of May, and it's not far enough. Indian team needs to leave. Indian team needs to leave by first week of June for undergoing the quarantining, and also for they have to play the practice matches. They have to play the practice matches. So things are likely that it might be delayed. Okay, Obik as a comment, one location IPL would have been best choice, something like ISL did. But again, yes, I guess so. Now we are being wise after the fact, but BCCI might have taken a better call. So many traveling again. Now, sir, I will again come back to one more thing that IPL schedule where we stand. I will tell you June, July, August, India will be in UK for the World Test Championship and five test matches. Okay. After that, India has some T20 series, I guess, with South Africa and New Zealand, and then the T20 World Cup. Within that, I don't think till October they have the schedule. They will have a window for IPL. If not, they let go of the T20 series against New Zealand and South Africa. Do you think that they might bypass the T20 series against New Zealand and South Africa to accommodate IPL, or will it be held after World T20?
see, I don't think holding a bilateral series is difficult. But once again, holding an 8-team IPL is also difficult, and we have to judge what situation is there in India and worldwide in September. I think the call will be taken according to that. Saurav Ganguly will be very keen to complete the IPL, I think. But again, IPL is an eight team contest. It will involve players from all around the globe, and I think this after this fiasco, a decision has to be taken by BCCI in conglomeration with the other cricket boards who send their players to India, and something they have to come. They have to square up at some point. I don't think IPL is a very too much of a possibility in the next 3 months or so. Multinational tournament in India. Maybe they can complete this final leg of. I think the Kolkata and the Bangalore legs were remaining. At after this, Kolkata, Bangalore, and Delhi
Yes,
legs were
after this, the
remaining.
Kolkata Bangalore leg, then the playoffs in Ahmedabad and the final in Ahmedabad.
Yeah, I think this part was remaining. I think they can play this part in UK. They can play this part in UAE maybe in September. That is also a possibility.
Only thing, sir, I think now because the World T20 is slowly moving out of India. The World
World
T20
T20 is
is
not going to.
okay. We have a question from Mr. Sogota Sen. What are the chance of T20 World Cup 16 team cannot play in one venue? Seems it will move to UAE. Yes, Mr. Sen, we were discussing exactly this thing right now. Uh, World T20 in India, I don't think it's a possibility as of now because so many teams they will be coming with a lot of players along with their support staff, the broadcasters. India that time, and they are saying the third wave may or may not come. And India is such a densely populated country. There will be a lot of players who will be coming with their support staff, and I don't think so. T20 World Cup will be held in India.
Hello. I think Mr. Vishwaja has lost his connection. So, what are the chances of World T20 if 16 teams?
Hello, hello. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I
there was
think
some network.
there was a network issue. So, I
Okay,
think
so sorry. Yeah, now coming back to our question that yes, T20 World Cup might be moving out of India, UAE. Your thoughts because in October that third wave, people are saying third wave may or may not come. So, what are your thoughts of World T20 going to UAE?
I don't think World T20 will be held in India. They will not run the risk. Maybe in UAE, maybe in Australia. Australia is also a possible venue, which is
No,
a
because Australia was supposed to hold the T20 World Cup next year. So why can't they swap? Why can't they swap a T20 World Cup between Australia and India? Because next year Australia was supposed to hold the T20 World Cup, so they can hold it this year, and India
I
might
think
hold the World Cup next year.
I think they can swap it. I think it all depends on the BCCI and CA. But once again, CA is already bankrupt and they have earned some money with the Indian series. Whether they are going to hold a World Cup at this point of time, CA, I don't know what are the finances of CA at this point of time.
In fact, sir, to add to that, if the South Africa cricketing body makes a case against Australia for not visiting South Africa because they also lost money. So, the CA is under a big fix because they have lost a lot of money because of not organizing, because none of the team came to play. When India visited Australia, they gained a lot of viewership. So, yes, that's also a point of concern right now. So, let's see, because things are very uncertain. Things are quite uncertain. We can't help in these things. Now, sir,
I
we will
think
quickly wrap it up. Yes, sir, please be saying something.
I think if it is held in UAE, then BCCI, which is still a very rich body at this point of time, they can back. With BCCI and Cricket Bangladesh, they can actually back holding it in UAE. I don't think CA is financially equipped to hold a World Cup at this point of time.
Yes,
News.
I also, because last year they made it quite evident that they don't have that amount of cash to hold a World Cup in Australia. Last year they made it quite evident. Now, sir, quickly I will be coming to the end of the show. Uh, Before we go some to medical things to finish off this discussion on IPL, the team which you know surprised you the most
This
so
year, I
far.
think RCB has been superb. CSK with this their battalion has done really well. The team which has disappointed me is SRH and KKR.
Uh, yes, now coming to this is a CSK. I thought I will just have one thing. CSK made the best utilization of Muin Ali and Sam Curran more than English cricket, I thought. They best utilized these two players.
I think Moeen Ali should have been batting right up the order in India throughout that Test series. He should have been batting 3-4 because he is a very good player of spin bowling. And I think Sam Curran has been used very well by Mahendra Singh Dhoni. He's a gem of a captain and he knows how to use players. He
Uh,
has really
so
brought up.
just to point on the Mahendra Singh Dhoni thought, we are all emotional about MS Dhoni. MS Dhoni, the batsman, may be at the fag end of his career, but MS Dhoni, the keeper and the captain, wow, he had still some streak up his sleeve. He is still a master captain.
He's the best captain after Saurav Ganguly India has ever produced. And if I make a team of all-time best one-day team and all-time best T20 team, MS Dhoni will be the undisputed leader of both these squads.
Okay. Now coming to, so quickly, I will ask you the player who surprised you, impressed you the most this IPL, a bowler and a batsman. 1-1.
I think Devdutt Padikkal was very impressive with his 100. The bowler I think who impressed me a lot is I must say I was disappointed. The bowler disappointed with I must say was Pat Cummins. And the bowler who impressed me most was one and only Ravindra Jadeja. He
Wow.
was super,
Sir
super,
Jadeja.
super.
So one thing, Sir Jadeja was coming from an injury. What an impact he had. What an impact with his bat, ball, field.
With his bat and ball. And despite being an all-rounder, he is the most impressive bowler. And he has changed the fortunes of Chennai, which looked a very weak team to start off. I think we never put Chennai in the top four. No one did. I think no YouTuber did put Chennai in the top
Absolutely.
four. And Ravindra
Sir,
Jadeja was very, very impressive.
just to add, if someone from BCCI is listening, Ravindra Jadeja deserves a A plus contract with Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma,
Yeah,
and Jasprit Bumrah.
I
Ravindra
was
Jadeja is a three format player.
you snatched it from my mouth. Ravindra Jadeja, I do not know. It is a criminal offense not to give him an A plus contract. Ravindra Jadeja is your regular in all three formats. He should be a regular in all three formats, and you cannot
Sir,
say.
you are not audible, sir. Sir, hang on, you are not audible.
Oh, am I audible?
No, no, you are not audible. No, sir. No, I think you might have. Uh, that time there was some disturbance, and then the connection, the voice cut. Okay, unfortunately, we lost Dr. Ghosh. He will be joining back again. There was some. So now, just I will be asking what is there in the show. I will be asking him about the vaccine. The must, the big question that when the people of Kolkata, the people from 18 to 45 will be getting the vaccine. I will be asking him that. Just some few thoughts on IPL. If you have any questions for Dr. Ghosh to ask me, please you can type in the comments. I will ask Dr. Ghosh whether it is medical, whether it is from cricket related. I would ask my viewers if you want, you can ask the questions in the comment box.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes, sir. You are audible right now. You're audible. Yes.
Yeah. What I
Fine.
was trying to say is that it is a criminal offense to keep Ravindra Jadeja out of the A plus contract. Ravindra Jadeja can should be a first choice in all three formats.
Absolutely, sir. Ravindra Jadeja should be a because he, if he make an Indian team for Test T20 one day, he is a player along with Virat Kohli, Jasprit Bumrah, and Rohit Sharma who will feature in all these three lists in all conditions. In all conditions. Now, sir, I will be wrapping this thing up. I have a few questions for you. Cricket related, yes, we have discussed a lot of things. Just before I end, your thoughts. Whom you thought that will win IPL this year? RCB?
They mess up in the end. I think it was between DC and Mumbai Indians once again.
No
Mumbai
CSK?
Indians, CSK. I don't think would have gone all the way. Just depending on Ruturaj and Ruturaj Gaikwad, Duplessis and Jadeja. CSK, Mumbai Indians, and DC would have been in the top three.
I thought, sir, I may be wrong. I thought this year Delhi Capitals had the most balanced squad. If you ask me, DC
Absolutely.
they had a squad for all the grounds, spinning track, fast bowling track. They had good spinners, and what a revelation is Akshar Patel. Akshar Patel is also another good revelation, if I may say. So
Absolutely.
yes,
That's a Patel. Yeah. I think
sir,
that
I
one
will
test
just,
will change him.
yes, definitely, sir. I will now quickly ask you one question. Many viewers ask me vaccine. Now, most of the 45 above have got the second dose of vaccine right now. What about the vaccine dose for 18 to 45? The portal has opened. We have registered. Any thoughts, sir? Like some thoughts you may give, sir, from your end.
See, let me make one thing clear over here. See, we have already vaccinated 15 crore people. Now, vaccinating 15 crore people would have meant vaccinating three entire European nations. See, with a 135 crore population, we just don't expect vaccines to fly in and just at regular intervals. Vaccines will be coming, and I think all of you will be vaccinated by the end of June. See, there
End
is
of
also
sorry, end of June.
end of June. I think most of the
Okay.
at least we are going to vaccinate 60% of Indian population. See, I think
Okay.
there are
Great.
also thoughts of there are also I'll also want to clear one thing. There are thoughts of people asking me why India exported their vaccines when their own population was not met with. See, one thing is that we live in an era of globalization. Whatever you make, you have to give Whatever others make, you will get. See, last year we did not manufacture N95 masks. Now we are doing it. Last year we had to import that. See, this vaccine Covishield is actually formulated by Oxford University, UK. So they gave a contract to Serum Institute so that they have, if they prepare it, they have to export it to this many countries at these levels. So everything has to be met with a 135 crore population. We just cannot have things in place very soon. Everyone is going to get the vaccines sooner or later. Doesn't matter.
So in Kolkata, sir, maybe in the mid of May or something, the vaccination will start for
In
80.
the mid of May, in fact, US has a big stock of vaccines in their own helm. They are going to send it to India. I think Narendra Modi is going to mediate that. Vaccines from Russia, the Sputnik V has also come to India. So I think if we vaccinate 60 to 70% of the population, we are going to get a good herd immunity. So our
Sir,
target
just one question on Sputnik. One question, I'm sorry to ask you. There are some rumors that they are saying the efficacy of Sputnik is less, this, that. Some
no,
rumors. I don't, I'm not a
no,
medical person.
no,
Your thoughts.
it is all the same. It is important that you get one vaccine or the other, but you have to get the vaccine. That is very
So,
important.
viewers, if you get Covaxin, Covishield, Sputnik, Pfizer, whatever it is, get vaccinated. These are
Get
approved.
vaccine. Yeah.
Yes, these are approved and get vaccinated. So, with these things, sir, thank you for your time. We would like to end
Thank
this
you.
chat. Guys, it was a lot of a brainstorming session. Yes, unfortunately, IPL has stopped. We will see, time will tell how the COVID situation is there in India, and whether we will get IPL this year, maybe not. What about cricket? World Test Championship, only the month of May will tell how June looks forward. Anyway, sir, thank you for your
Thank
thoughts.
you.
Thank you, viewer. Stay safe. People like Dr. Ghosh, they are fighting night and day against the disease. Let us help them. Stay at home, stay safe. If you go out, wear a mask, wash your hands, and maintain social distancing. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.